2022 Pandemic Travel Forecast Tools for Happy Travel. For the average Jack and Joe, travel has been off limits since March of 2020. However, I'm a bit more adventurous than the average bear, so pandemic travel has become my new obsession. In 2020 alone, I traveled to 9 countries, experienced some oldies but goodies in a whole new way, and spent nearly every month exploring a new culture. We all thought we'd be back to normal by now, but with new variants popping up like Google ads, we might as well get comfortable for the ride. Now that we can be sure that this pandemic thing might actually be just a new way of life, what will we do in 2022? Will we continue limiting travel to a trip from the sofa to the refrigerator? Or will we strap on our thinking caps and figure out how to make this thing work? This is the Go Girl. You already know the answer. So let me just tell you about my travel forecast and some of the tools I'm using to continue exploring Mother Earth this 2022. To infinity and beyond. Assalamu alaikum, marhaban. This year, I'm interested in exploring the East, that is, the Middle East and Asia. The Middle East because I'm studying Arabic. Click on that link to see the article about that. And I'm excited to get in the express lane for faster fluency. I'm also interested in getting to know the Middle Eastern culture for myself. As I've traveled the world for the past 15 years, I've learned that there are gaping holes between what I learn as, quote, the truth, end quote, in American schools and the reality that I encounter for myself. After touching down in Africa about 8 years ago and seeing all of the beauty, the technology, and development that is never shown on television, I decided that I would never again accept what I've been taught as the truth, but rather go out and discover it for myself. And Asia, you ask? Well, one day in 2020, my children found chopsticks in our silverware drawer, demanded to eat noodles for dinner, and informed me that we would visit China someday soon. So they needed to practice their chopstick skills. That moment tickles me to this day, but I'm very serious about listening to my children and working hard to gift them experiences that grow them into empathetic, open-minded people. So yeah, Asia. The hunt. Planning a vacation used to be such a simple and joyful task, but nowadays I feel like I'm preparing a military defense against all of the possible unforeseens that can pop up when we least expect them. Documentation, rules, testing, restricted areas, delays, vaccinations, declarations, insurances, quarantine, and the list never ends. Just when you think you've got it down to a science, bam, the 10th wave. Anyway, with all of the uncertainty, I found a few of the following tips to be absolute musts for keeping your travel stress-free in 2022. Number 1, book travel directly. Third-party platforms used to be my jam, but these days they are my mortal enemies. I've been canceled after confirmation. I've had to fight for refunds, and don't get me started on the no par service. See what I did there? Not subpar, but no par. Instead of using third-party booking platforms, which offer almost no benefits these days, pay a few more bucks and book directly with your preferred airline, your preferred lodging company, and any other rental agencies you plan to use. Number 2, book with the big boys. All airlines are struggling these days. All, I know that. But the smaller ones, they put up a bigger fight when it comes to making changes and receiving your rightfully owed refunds. Swiss Airlines, for me, has been phenomenal. United Airlines, totally solid. Air Europa, disaster. Oh my gosh. Air Europa wrongfully denied me boarding in Madrid to Argentina, left me to sleep in a freezing cold airport in February, and fought with me for 6 months before partially refunding my ticket. Note, Iberia boarded me on their next flight after that cancellation or that wrongful boarding for the same destination, and I was allowed into the country with no problem again after having traveled there less than 30 days before said trip via Air Europa with the same documentation. I am rolling my eyes right now. After this, I did a lot of research and became very familiar with my rights as a passenger. So continue reading, and I'll tell you about 2 rights you must know about below. 3. Buy the flex ticket. I used to always go for the most economical options as I fly everywhere all the time, and I always get upgraded to the comfiest seats anyway. But after crazy couple of years, I began paying a little bit extra for the ease of flexibility. You might be sure about your plans, but you never quite know what's happening in far, far away land or with the folks you might be visiting. It's definitely worth it to pay a bit extra. Travel light. Listen, unless you're 2015 Lady Gaga or a budding Kim Kardashian, I don't even know why you need all the luggage anyway. Some people just swear by options. These days, traveling light will save your life and your sanity. Now more than ever, pack light. I have personally always been a carry-on only traveler anyway, but these days with airlines short-staffed, a pissed off Mother Nature, and worldwide instability, you'll travel more peacefully with carry-on. Note, United Airlines is charging $35 for carry-ons. Hashtag hard times. 5. Travel direct. Direct flights are few and far between these days, but if you can manage to get a direct flight, grab it! Nothing simplifies your adventure more than cutting out as many middlemen as you can handle. And guess what? You get a link, and you get a link, and you get a link. Here is a link to find the most direct path to your destination. Go ahead and scroll this article and click that link. Now, know your rights. These days, as airlines struggle to hold on to every single last penny, they're counting on your ignorance to secure their revenues. Here are 2 rules that will save you from losing out on what's already yours. Number 1, 24-hour cancellations are free for all. Did you know that it is a rule set by the Department of Transportation that you are owed your total fare without so much as a penny deduction if you cancel your booking within 24 hours, no matter the airline, no matter the country? Many people do not know this, including the employees of the airline companies themselves, but it is true, and you must be refunded. Fight for your rights, know this rule, and don't let anybody tell you differently. Number 2, Article 7 of Regulation number 261/2004. Article 7, published in the early 2000s, established a list of standardized rules and regulations to address airlines' responsibility when it comes to cancellations, wrongful boarding denials, overbooking, and more. Another link here for you. Click and read, because you and your family could be owed 600 euros each or even more if you've been inconvenienced through no fault of your own. Now, time to explore. This year, like the last 2 years that just crept on by, will be full of new norms and surprises, I'm sure. To vax or not to vax? That is the question. To drive or to fly private? Yet another question. To go far or stay near? Too many questions to count. No matter what you decide, though, life is too short for fear. So I hope that you'll take my tips, enjoy my videos as you click around the website, be encouraged to get out into the world, and carpe diem. Thank you for listening and happy travels.